All right, next on the list, Brooke Shields. Don't you love her? I love Brooke. She's such a lovely lady and a very honest woman. She has a new memoir out today called There Was a Little Girl. Here's the cover of it. That's her and her mom on the cover. And she talks about dating some of the most famous men in the world. You know about JFK Jr. and her and Liam Neeson, Michael Jackson she's talked about in the past. But there's one part of the book that has a lot of people talking, and that's when Brooke opens up about how she lost her virginity in college. She lost it at the age of 22 to this guy before he became famous. You know who that is? That's Dean Cain, right? Superman, yeah. They were students together at Princeton. And Brooke says that, you know, interestingly enough, I mean, they were longtime boyfriend-girlfriend. She said it was a beautiful experience, but it left her feeling overwhelmingly guilty. And she's thought about it in recent years, and she realized that her mom was very controlling. Her mom sort of ran her life, and her mom really discouraged any sexuality with her because she now believes that her mom wanted her to stay hers alone, and that sex meant that Brooke was leaving her. So the night, and she writes about all this, I'm not speaking out of school, the night that she had sex with Dean, you know, it ended and she started to feel very guilty and she freaked out and she ran out of the room literally and down a hall naked. And he went after her with a comforter and brought her back, and she realized that she would be somehow breaking her mother's heart. And she said, I couldn't handle loving somebody more than my mom. And that's, yeah, exactly. And that's such a painful thing to think about. You know, Brooke and Dean broke up soon after that. And he's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. And he gave her permission to write this story. And we're going to talk to him all about that because that was a pivotal night in both of their lives. But it got me thinking about my first time. You want to know? Okay. Well, I was actually a little younger than her. I was in high school. Okay, judging. You say you want to know, but then, and I was raised, my parents were first generation Portuguese. And my mom was 40 when she had me, my dad was 50. So there wasn't ever any talk about sex in my home, ever. I learned what a period is when I got a box in the mail from Kotex. Remember the old days? With a little book and a pad in it, and my mother never, and you know I made a pad, my mother never, ever brought it up to me. So this topic wasn't discussed, and yet I came of age in the late 60s when it was, you know, make love, not war, and very open in sexuality. So I was pretty confused, and I had a boyfriend at the time. We'd been going out for a while, and we finally decided we were going to do this. And I really didn't know anything about it, except I thought, okay, well, everybody outside is wearing no bras, and they're all doing it, so I'll try this. And we plotted it with my friend. Her parents were out of town. She had a party. Her brother was out of town. I remember that we played the record Jesus Christ Superstar, which is so ironic. When you I mean, that is, like, weird. On so many levels, that is disturbing. And, you know, talking about Mary Magdalene, and I'm getting hot and whatever. It's all true. And so we go upstairs, and it happens, and I remember thinking, that's it? And I really thought there'd be those little animated birds in the window, like Mary Poppins. Seriously, and none of it. And it was fun. I stayed with this guy for a couple of years. It was a wonderful relationship, but it was, you know, I realized later that I probably should have talked about it and understood myself physically and emotionally, and it's part of the reason why, with my daughter Lil, from the time she was tiny, when she didn't even want to hear about it, I started talking about birds and the bees and just explaining to her about relationships and owning herself and being proud of her body and protecting it. And if she thought I was talking about it right now, she'd tell me, stop talking about this. So I'm going to move on. Anyway, that's my story of my first time.